First up on the list is two-time All-American place winner Alex Marinelli, who has been the number 1 seed at the national championships on 3 separate occasions, but never won a title. We know he's the type of caliber of wrestler who can compete for a national title, considering he's beat national champion Vincenzo Joseph on multiple occasions. If Vincenzo can do it, then why not Marinelli? And he just has reigned supreme in the regular season, but can't necessarily compete on the big stage at the end of the year. He hasn't been able to get over the humps of guys like Isaiah Martinez, Mekhi Lewis, or even Shane Griffith. It's been a real shame, but he's definitely due to win a title. Which other seniors are due to win a title? Let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. What's going on, wrestling fans? My name's Josiah, and welcome to Fanco Wrestling, your source for college wrestling news and discussion. And there are a couple of criteria that go into this Fanco 5 seniors yet to win a title, including national placements. How have these guys done on the national stage? Their seeds is another important factor. What were they seeded going into the tournament? How did they finish? And as we look at wins and losses in a career resume, that's also important, because when you look at best seniors to win a national title, there are a couple things that go into that. One, it's they haven't won a national title. Two, they're a senior. And three, it's the best senior is what makes that. Well, I would consider if they have beat national champions before, that's one thing, and that's a big criteria that goes into it. If they beat national champions, that shows that they're right on par to win a national title. And one of those guys is Hayden Heidly, who was the number 1 seed going into the national championships in 2018 as a freshman. I mean, you talk about pressure, that's unbelievable. And he showed up on the national stage. Now, he made the finals and lost to Jason Nolf, and he ultimately lost to Jason Nolf the following year in the semis on what was a very close call on a takedown. Now, he doesn't have any wins over national champs, but he does have a win over Jesse De La Vecchia, who made the finals last year. And you want to ask, why is he due to win a title when he's coming in the national championship and done so well? Well, he's a finalist who has had the best wrestler in the country in his weight class on multiple occasions. And by that, I mean Jason Nolf. He wasn't only the best wrestler at 157 pounds, he was one of the best wrestlers in the entire NCAA field. And he was standing in his weight class. I think that Heidly is just due to win a title. Another guy who's due to win a title is Stefan Michig. I was debating putting him on this list just because, look, Michig is entering his 8th year of college eligibility. 8th year, and still has yet to win a title. Now, granted, because I love reading in the comments from Fanco Nation about Michig and Heidly and all these other seniors who quote unquote shouldn't be competing this year, and I just think it's hilarious. So keep those up. But to be fair, Michig has only had 3 years where he's competed, and he's placed 4th, 2nd, and 3rd. Now every year he's lost to the eventual national champion at the national stage. What do I mean by that? Well, as a redshirt freshman in 2017, he lost to Iowa's Corey Clark by a decision in the quarterfinals. He made the finals the following year to Seth Gross in what was a stellar finals match. And then in 2019, he was upset in the semifinals by Nick Soriano. We know that Nick Soriano was on that revenge tour that year, and he did ultimately beat Michig. Now, this year, Michig is bumping up to 141 pounds, and this could be his year to finally get the job done. And a part of me is just kind of rooting for him, because it's like, well, you've wrestled for 17 years in college. Maybe your 18th year is finally the time to get the title. You're striving so much for something. You get this opportunity to come back. Hopefully he gets it. I mean, for his sake. Now, it's one of the toughest weight classes in college wrestling is 141 pounds. And if an Olympian hasn't won a title yet, I mean, that's just crazy to me. So who else can even top that and make the number 2 spot on this list? Sebastian Rivera. Now, Sebastian Rivera, honestly, I struggled for a second as I was going through this to put him on the list. And why is that? Well, he's never really shown up at the national championships in a big way. And what I mean by that is he's done phenomenal throughout the season. I'm going to go over his hit list in just a second here, because his hit list of wins is what puts him at this number 2 spot. But he hasn't come in and beat any national champs or had any crazy upsets at nationals. He goes in, he gets some good wins. He has some unfortunate losses, a couple early round losses, like in I believe it was 2018 when he lost in round 2. Then he lost to Mueller in 2019. It's not like he upset him. He isn't like, he wrestled Nick Lee last year and lost to him. So he wasn't like making any big waves. He just always, he's performed well, right? But look at his wins. Look at Sebastian Rivera's wins here. He has wins in his career over Spencer Lee. 2 wins over Spencer Lee, showing that it wasn't a fluke, or maybe it was. Maybe one of them was a little bit of a fluke with that hands to the face stuff. No, it wasn't. But Roman Bravo Young, a win over him the following year at 133 pounds in the Big Ten Championships, and he win over Seth Gross. I've said it before, but Sebastian Rivera is just an upset machine. He is due to win a title. And his journey through college wrestling, if it shows that he can beat all of these national champions and still never win a title, I mean, that just shows you how tough the national championships really are. It just really does. So who are some of the guys who aren't on this list? Who's not the number one? Who just missed a spot? These are a couple of the honorable mentions that I want to talk about. First up is Michael Kemmer, who, just like Hayden Heidly, struggled with Jason Nolf for a couple of years. And while he's on this list, I mean, he has wins over Carter Starace and Mark Hall. That's one of the reasons he could be on this list, and honestly, he's due for a win. But similar to, let's talk about Rivera and Michig, like there are 2 of those guys at the same weight. One of them is not going to come out with a title, and potentially neither of them. But that's a similar case at 174 with Kemmerer and Heidly, right? And, I mean, potentially neither of them come out with a title this year as well. Ryan Deacon, another guy, has been the number 1 seed twice, but never made the national finals. Tariq Wilson. Austin DeSanto is an interesting case here because I thought about him for the list for a second, but all 3 years, you look back at his national championship performance, he's lost to finalists. His freshman year, remember his Kimura whenever he lost to Stefan Michig. He lost to Michig the following year, and then last year lost to Dayton Fix in the semis. Now, he's beaten tough guys with Seth Gross and RBY and Nick Suriano, so he could be on this list, but just misses it. And Miles Amin is another guy who just missed it. His only losses at the national championships, I mean, he's lost to Valencia, Zahid Valencia twice, Mark Hall, AJ Ferrari. All those guys are national champions. So why isn't he on this list? Why isn't he at the number 1 spot? I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't have wins over any national champions, whereas this number 1 guy does. And although I don't always love his Iowa-style celebrations, he deserves the number 1 spot. Jaden Iron easily is the number 1 senior due to win a national title. And I'll tell you why. He's a 4-time All-American already with an incredible hit list. I mean, just absolutely incredible. He pinned Dean Heil, multiple-time national champion, in a dual meet. He beat Yanni Diakmahalis, who is Yanni's last loss. Ironman is Yanni's last loss, and it's a potential that Ironman could be Yanni's only ever collegiate loss. We'll see how the rest of his career shakes out, right? He beat Nick Lee twice. Ended up losing in the national finals, but still, he beat him twice. He even has a win over Anthony Ashnell. He's been so darn close. Like, not only all those wins, which are incredible, but he's been so, I mean, listen to this, so close on multiple occasions. Last year, sudden victory final, lost by a takedown to Nick Lee. The year before that, or 2 years before that, when he last competed, he had a semifinal loss to Yanni, 6-4. And the year before that, a sudden victory loss to Yanni. And the year before that, a 6-5 loss to Dean Heil. Ironman has been right there every single year, and he's due to win a title this year. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Could he make the top of the stand? Now, if you're interested in hearing about why 141 pounds is the toughest weight class in the Big Ten, I recommend you check out this video right here. Or if you're not already, click subscribe to the Fanco Wrestling YouTube channel.